Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be looking at a new multi-tool that I just received in the mail. This is the Gerber Prybrid X. I want to start off by saying that this was completely an impulse buy. I was actually not looking at purchasing this multi-tool. I actually needed a little bit more money in my cart to get free shipping from a website that I was ordering some more stuff. So I decided to throw this guy in there so it can get me over that hump and get that free shipping. I know we're all guilty of that. I had seen some videos on it, so I figured I would get it in hand and kind of check it out. Because also, when I saw the features of this multi-tool, I knew exactly what I was going to be using it for. Now, I know Gerber is probably marketing this tool because of its size and the features as an EDC tool, maybe something to carry in a pocket or in an EDC bag or something like that. I don't feel that it's that good of an EDC tool just because of the makeup and also this lanyard here, which I'll talk to in a second. But what I decided to do is, in my shop, in my garage, I have an X-Acto knife. We probably all do, that I use to make like intricate cuts and things like that if I'm cutting out paper or whatnot. And then I also have paint cans that I normally open and I use a screwdriver for. So I figured this particular tool would fit perfectly with that because of the two main features, which obviously are the blade on one end and then a pry bar on the other. So I could easily see myself, gravitating towards grabbing this to use it for this particular purpose. And the fact that it's got both tools in one is pretty nice. Now I have the packaging here just because it gives you a lot of information. Again, this is the Prybrid X. It's got 8 tools, exchangeable parts, slide lock, bottle opener, keychain. And then in the back, it just gives you a little bit of a breakdown of all the different tools that are in this particular multi-tool. Now this one has a number 11 hobby blade. So again, this is basically the same blade that you would find in like an X-Acto knife. It's really easy to replace. You can buy like a 5-pack, and then when it gets dull, you can go ahead and replace it. Now I like the fact that the slide here does lock. So it is locked in the closed position, and the blade is ways away in there, and it's also recessed in here, so even if you put your finger in there, it's not going to cut you. Same thing in the front. So if you do decide to kind of carry this in your pants or something like that, you're not going to have to worry about it because it is locked in there. You actually have to push down on the little button here, and then the blade slides out, and then it locks in the open position. You can go ahead and use it, and then if you need to exchange it, you push down on it again and slide it back out, and then that allows you to actually remove the blade. And once you replace it, just slide it back in. It locks in that open position, and then press and slide all the way down, and it locks in the closed position. You do have a little bit of texturing on the top and the bottom here. It's not necessarily jimping, but it does again give you a little bit of material there to rest your fingers on if you're pushing down real hard on it or anything like that. And I like the feel because it's nice and wide, or it's flat on the side, as opposed to using an X-Acto knife, which is round, kind of like a pencil. So normally an X-Acto knife you would kind of hold like this. So if you're doing really intricate cutting, sometimes it could spin and stuff like that. The blade might move. With this, you can actually have a little bit better control, especially if you're doing some quick cuts and things like that. So I do like that part. Now obviously it has an integrated pry bar that kind of runs the center of the tool right here. And as a pry bar, for light prying, maybe scraping and things like that, I think it's good. It's got like a nice upsweep to it. Obviously with more usage, I can tell if it's going to be good or not. Now I think for the most part, with a lot of cheaper multi-tools, like all the other things that they add on, and you can see right here from the box here, it says it has a large flat driver, a nail puller, and a small flat driver. It says wire stripper right in the middle there, and then a lanyard hole. So again, for my usage, I'm going to have this in a shop where I have screwdrivers and a hammer and whole sorts of other things. I'm not going to be using any of those features. Again, for me, this is more for prying on one end and then for cutting on the other end, and that's pretty much it. But if you're going to be carrying this on an EDC, then in a pinch you could use those tools to do that if you really needed to. Now getting back to the paracord here, I like the fact that they included this paracord. I like the color. This they call it urban blue, but I don't like this end that they left on here. I think it gets in the way. I don't know if that's so you can hang it up or anything like that, but if you have a dedicated lanyard hole, you can easily add a lanyard to it, and it'll be kind of out of the way. I think right now, again, if I'm going to be using any of these other tools, bottle opener or anything else, I have to physically move it out of the way and hold it back here. And again, it's pretty easy to do that, but it's just in the way. I think for the most part, if they wanted to do paracord, they could have just ended it right here, just kind of add it there to give you a little something else to hold on to. But I don't know if they're just using this kind of like when you do with a knife, that you add a lanyard to, so you can have a little bit more of a 4-finger grip or anything like that, especially when you're using the blade. But just for my feel, I don't think it's necessary. I like the weight of it. It's not very heavy. So again, if you're going to be carrying it, you know, you don't have to worry about it being too heavy in your pocket. Again, these are, it feels like aluminum, almost scales sandwiched on top, or sandwiching that pry bar in the middle there. But for the most part, it's you know, more for light prying, maybe like I said, scraping and things like that. So I just wanted to go ahead and show it to you guys. Like I said, this was an impulse buy. By no means do I feel like anybody actually needs a tool like this. You know, but if you want something that has different options, again, you know, for maybe in a kitchen cabinet at home or something like that, you can have a blade and then a, you know, a prying tool. I think this would definitely work for that, but again, I wouldn't say that I'm in any rush to go purchase it. Like I said, I added it to the cart so I can get that free shipping, and just so I can test it out and show it to you guys. That way, if you have been, you know, maybe looking at this one, I know they came out with 2 models: the Prybrid X, which is this one here, and then the Prybrid, which I believe it's the bigger brother. To this one, it uses the more kind of box cutter blades, but it has a similar functionality. You know, if you've been looking at those, then, you know, this is you know, just a quick look at it. So there it is. Again, this is the Prybrid X from Gerber. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.